Good Monday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Peterson. Let's go in and talk about the weather for your Monday evening going into your future. Hopefully everyone has had a fantastic Monday. I know I surely did. And so, what are we going to talk about tonight? As we always do, we go on and first off say, if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. We've had 4 people tune in so far and only 2 likes. So if you're a part of that half that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Also, make sure that if you are new and you have never, ever hit the subscribe button before, go on and do so as well. That's free. Change your mind at any time. And then share it with all the people that you know. Share it with your friends, family, acquaintances, somebody at the grocery store, somebody that talks to you once every, just like once in a blue moon. Or you can send it to even the person that you don't like. Just send it to somebody so you can go on and hit the subscribe button. And so now with that out of the way, what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, obviously we will talk about the main headlines of what's currently going on, what's going to occur tonight. We will continue to talk about our tropics. We will continue to talk about our new deep trough to ridge that will be coming in or leaving, bringing zonal flow on Wednesday, and then a building ridge dominates on Thursday through Sunday. We'll talk about that. And just this record cold just in general. And then after that, pretty much, that's all that we're really going to talk about for tonight. So let's go on now and just start off with what is currently going on throughout the entire state of South Carolina. I will say, I've been, multiple people have definitely been harping about the snow in November. A lot of people have been harping about the snow in November. If we go on and look at the winter radar, right now, there is indeed some snowfall that occurred in the state of South Carolina. Now, a good amount did happen in like the mountain areas, and that's where we have some of our accumulation from. But for the most part, you can see that there is still like some green and some blue over here near Bennettsville, near Florence, and so some of this could potentially be snowfall as well. Again, not really going to accumulate anything, not really going to drop too much, but definitely, it's still snowfall. Snowfall is still snowfall. But what's going on right now throughout the entire U.S. besides South Carolina? Well, right now, snowfall is still going on from Tennessee over towards Alabama and Georgia. Yes, Alabama and Georgia receiving in on some of that snowfall, as well as North Carolina, West Virginia, rainfall going throughout some of these areas as well. We also do have some snowfall going in Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, going into Michigan, and then also in Minnesota and Wisconsin. We also do have some ice going on inside of North Dakota, and then some rain and some snow over here inside of Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and going inside of northern New York. Also up here inside of the northwestern U.S., rainfall going on inside of Washington, Idaho, Montana, and also inside of Oregon. So what is currently going on in terms of cloud cover right now? Cloud cover right now, we do have some cloud cover obviously going on in the PD areas, going on inside of the Grand Strand areas right now, South Carolina. And so for everyone else right now seems to be relatively clear. Even if we go into our cloud cover for the future, you go on and push this forward, that cloud cover is going to move its way out of here, and it's going to be nice and clear going into tomorrow, even going into a bit further into the future. Clear conditions seem to remain for the next like 48 hours or so. Current temperatures right now, 36 in Columbia as well as 35 in Orangeburg, 37 in Sumter as well as 35 in Lugoff, 36 also in Hartsville, and even around 36 inside of Florence, 42 in Conway, 45 in Myrtle Beach, 44 also inside of Murrells Inland, and 41 in Georgetown, 37 in Somerville, and 46 in North Myrtle Beach. We even have around 40 in Charleston, 33 in Aiken, and 32 in Greenwood, 31 in Clemson and Anderson. Low temperatures for tonight, this is the highlight right here. With low temperatures being around 25 in Rock Hill, 25 also in Spartanburg, and even around 25 in Greenville, 27 in Anderson, and 25 in Greenwood, 24 in Newberry, and 27 in Columbia and in Camden, 27 also in Dillon, 28 in Sumter and Florence, and 26 in Kingstree, 27 in Moncks Corner, and 25 also inside of Walterboro, 30 in Charleston, and 29 in Georgetown, 31 in Myrtle Beach, and 34 in Hilton Head Island. Now, that's not, that sounds like, yeah, this is going to be very low in terms of temperatures. But what about those wind chill values? Wind chill values will go all the way down. Will go all the way down into the teens for some of us. So 19 Greenville, 18 in Rock Hill, 19 in Winsboro, 22 in Columbia, 21 in Walterboro, 23 in Moncks Corner, 24 in Charleston, 25 in Georgetown and Myrtle Beach. So just because, we will have freezing temperatures, obviously, those wind chill values will make it a lot less cooler than it actually is. And so that's why I said, have any plants outside, vegetation, pets outside, pipes, anything like that needs to be covered up, or just any sort of drains they need to keep dripping. That's obviously something that should have been done, especially with this hard freeze being known for a good little bit now. But make sure, if you haven't though, go on and do so. Rainfall for tonight, not really too much of a rainfall threat as we move into tonight. That goes from around 7 p.m. tonight all the way into 7 p.m. on Tuesday. And I did see some stuff in terms of snowfall. As well. If you move in over to the snow map, which that's not the right snow map, but I had it over here. Let's see if it is still there. No, they got rid of it. Okay, that's fine. But it did show like a little bit of some snow going on up there, some accumulation going on in like the very far upstate, like in the mountains. So for the most part, it showed some accumulation, like around like a tenth of an inch of snow all the way up to an inch. So not much, but still something to look at. Crazy score, if you have no idea what the crazy score is, the score that we see how crazy the weather is inside of South Carolina for tonight. And right now we're at a 42. Why? Well, freeze warning's in effect. Hard freeze is going on. No precipitation, as flurries are pretty much about to end as it's moving its way out. Wind will occur early. Wind gusts all the way up to 30 to 40 miles per hour, and it will pretty much diminish after midnight. The closer you get into the nighttime hours, the more that it will go away. Definitely was windy. Clear for the most part, and record cold. Potential record lows, at least at Columbia, at least where they're saying it could be, where it's expected to be around like 26, and I believe AGS, I think that's Augusta, 24. So we could, like I said, see some record low temperatures tonight. SPC outlook in terms of thunderstorm activity, nothing for tonight, tomorrow, or Wednesday, so we are good there in terms of thunderstorm activity. And in terms of excessive rainfall, we're good here too. So let's go on and talk about the models for the future. We're going to start off here with the HRRR, like we always do. And we're going to start off here at the 0Z. Make sure that you pay attention to the time at the top right corner of your screen, because that's going to be important to pay attention to as we go on throughout this time frame. So we're going to start off here at 9 o'clock p.m., like we always do. We're going to start pushes forward, rainfall, snowfall. You still have some snowfall going on, rainfall going on in North Carolina, but it moves its way out for the most part. But then some more could potentially happen behind it. But again, nothing for South Carolina, though. You continue through all the way to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9. Just nice and dry. As we go through tomorrow, it's going to be a nice dry day tomorrow. And even as we go into the 12th as well, going to be nice and dry. So nice and dry for tomorrow, Tuesday, and then also for Wednesday as well. Now, what about our long-term future? We're going to start off here at November the 12th, where we just ended off that. High pressure, for the most part, remains over, and we stay nice and dry all the way through. And then we get to around like November the 18th. We might see some rainfall up there in the upstate, but for the most part, I'm not really seeing anything else too significant. Another cold front moving through as we get into around like the 20th or so, brings some rainfall with it. Gusty winds, all of that as usual. And then we get another cold front behind that one on the 24th. Now, that's 330 hours out, and even the one on the 20th, it's still around a good 250 hours out. So those things will change, and we'll refine some details with it. But even as you go into around 330 hours out, it shows another cold front over here on November the 24th, which I believe is 3 days before Thanksgiving. And then even as we go on to the 27th, which actually we can't even reach the 27th yet, so we really can't go that much further for now. But one thing that I can look at is if you go on, I'm just going to turn over to the excessive rainfall screen. If you go over to the Climate Prediction Center outlooks, you go over the next 3 to 4 weeks or so. So this is November the 22nd through December the 5th for our Thanksgiving time frame. We will be above average in terms of temperature. Now, this, remember, goes all the way from the 22nd through to December the 5th. So things can definitely make it a bit more warmer. But in terms of the exact day, obviously, still way too far out to tell. But as we go through the 22nd and the 5th, above average. And then even if you go into precipitation as well, we will be below average. So warmer and below average for that Thanksgiving, early December time period. So one thing I do want to look at as well is look at our patterns as well, see what we have over here. If we look at the entire continental U.S., we go over to the JMA, and then we move on over here. And let me go and push this back real quick. We have this trough over here bringing us this cold weather, bringing us this kind of unsettled weather, bringing us our record-breaking cool air. That's going to push its way over into the east and cause some more issues over there in the northeast. But look at that ridge that's starting to build over there in the west. They're getting drier. They're getting warmer over there in the west, from California all the way over to Arizona to New Mexico. And so it will build its way as another trough moves its way in from the west. This is November the 15th. We have a ridge going on, bringing us some nicer weather. Obviously, the high pressure is already ongoing over there, over where we are right now, after that cold front has really just passed. And that high pressure will go away again as we have another low pressure trying to make its way through around like the 18th or so. And so that's just the same pattern that we've been in for pretty much a good little bit now. Now for the tropics. Tropical cyclone activity is not expected during the next 7 days. We are good in terms of the tropics. If we go on and look at what's going on in terms of the tropics for our future, for the most part, like I said, we're just having this nice, quiet time frame. Yes, we have some stuff going on in the Southern Caribbean, but again, I'm not really too concerned about it at all. Not really too concerned about it at all. Nothing much really inside of the main development region either. So I'm not really looking for too much right now. And now that that is out of the way, let's go on and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off, if you want to be a part of the audience, you can, but you have to be a subscriber to the channel. Mr. Oliver says, good evening, everyone. Extremely cold and windy at my house this evening. I felt the temperature dropping all day. Glad that I covered up my pipes. Absolutely correct there. Definitely should have done that. As right now, even at my house, it's 37 degrees, so not quite below freezing, but is expected to get below freezing by 3 o'clock in the morning. That's what the forecast right here says. So 3 a.m.-ish or so. Now, obviously, that can be earlier or later, exact temperatures. Will it be 30? I mean, it could be 32 at 2 a.m. It could be 32 at 1 a.m. It just really just matters on what happens. Then she says, had an hinga. I hope I said that correctly. In the pond today with his baby. I hope it doesn't get too cold for them if they hang around tomorrow. Well, obviously, I'm glad that you brought that up, because a lot of people should know that if it's too cold for humans, it's probably too cold for pets as well. So that's another great reason of why you should bring your pets inside if you do have any pets and you leave them outside. I know some people do, so that's why you should go on and bring your pets inside if you haven't already while these freezing temperatures are coming in. Some of them are already freezing at this point. Mr. Oliver says Berkeley Electric is also making some threats. I have heard that Berkeley Electric is sending out some messages and making some calls to people. I have heard about that. My name says, hello, Jay. Cold day today. It was cold. For sure. Hello to you. My cousin Cheryl then says, good evening, Weatherman. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. Fantastic. I had a great day today. Good evening, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Keep up the good work. I'm listening. I miss you, but I am here. Well, you're here. That's all that matters. And you made it. So I do appreciate you for showing up. My Aunt Lula says, "Good evening, everyone. I pray that everyone had a blessed day." I did. Everything with Caden says, "Yo, is there any more snow for Lexington, North Carolina?" We'll go on and look at that in just a second. But let me finish up these chats real quick. Thad says, "Good evening, Cousin Joseph. I hope all is well and you are staying warm. It was a little chilly this morning when I went out for my walk, but it was nice. I'm staying warm right now. And, I'm glad that you went on your walk as well this morning. Nice and chilly for you. I know that y'all definitely need some chilly weather. I mean, y'all been in that hot 190-degree mark for so long that definitely some chilly mornings. Y'all definitely do deserve that over there." Trail says, "Greetings, everyone. Greetings to you." My Aunt Lou comes back and says, "In Georgetown last night, there was a thunderstorm. However, it cleared up and we had a sunny, chilly day. Same thing at my house last night. It was thunderstorming and raining pretty heavily." Says, "At the moment, there is a lot of wind. Same thing at my house. So far, the highest gust that I've seen so far is around 20. Could be a bit higher. Mine weather stations are a bit lower to the ground, so right now, I mean, it could potentially be higher. But the highest that I've seen so far on my old one says 20 miles per hour. The new one's like a little bit more on the conservative side, so it's not quite as high as this one is, but around 20 is what I got." And then Mr. Oliver came back and said, "We have turned the heat on here tonight, so are you saying that I may have to turn the AC back on in the near future as well?" Well, we've been talking about it and about how temperatures can potentially get back up into the 80s again, so it's possible. It definitely is possible, unless you can stand 80-degree weather outside and not have the AC on. Then, you probably won't, but 80-degree temperatures for sure definitely could be coming back. Definitely is coming back. And that's all that I see here for the chat for tonight. You can still leave a chat if you want to. You just have to go on and put it inside of the live chat, and you have to be a subscriber of the channel. And that's all that I see here. So let's go on. We had a question come in from Caden, who asked, "Would there be any more snow for Lexington, North Carolina?" Well, if I go on and move my way over towards the southeast real quick, and let me make sure I know where Lexington, North Carolina is, because I know where Lexington, South Carolina is, but I don't know where Lexington, North Carolina is. Move my way up over here. Let me go over. Okay. I did find it. So if I go on and look right now, for the most part, I mean, it looks like not really too much. I'll go on and show that right now. But if I go on and show you it, for the most part, you're more on like the center side. You're more towards like the in between like Greensboro and Charlotte. Go to models right there. There you go. You want to push that. I mean, you see like some snow happening like around you, but not too much in your area. So I wouldn't really say you would really receive any more snowfall. I think that you're pretty much done for now. If you already have received some, if you didn't and you wanted some, well, I do apologize for that. But right now it seems like that you're pretty much done with snowfall. So that's it for that question. So let's go on now and move on through the next 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, 4 locations, what are you talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about those 4 locations is because we have people from those areas who tune in almost nightly. And so far, I think we have around 2 out of the 4 here tonight. So we're going to go on and talk about all of them either way. Doesn't matter. They don't take long at all. So right now, for San Antonio, first, low temperatures tonight 43, high temperatures tomorrow at 64, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 41. No precipitation is expected at this time. And in terms of severe weather, you almost have a chance for some more fire weather tomorrow. It takes over a good amount of Texas, like Fort Worth, Dallas, going to Lubbock, going into Midland, San Angelo, Austin, Waco. All of these areas have a fire risk tomorrow, but San Antonio is just out of it. So for right now, you're good. Excessive rainfall, non-existent for you. Non-existent for you right now. If I go on now and move on to Raleigh, North Carolina, being the second location that we talk about. And this one is a bit messed up. I have no idea why, but I do apologize for that. But right now, that just slight chance of rain slash snow should be into tonight. But low temperatures tonight at 28, high temperatures tomorrow at 47, and then high temperatures tomorrow, or low temperatures tomorrow night at 35. And so for the most part, that slight chance of rain slash snow still persists. And tomorrow, it's still going to be cold. Still going to be cold. In terms of severe weather, as we go through day 1, nothing. Day 2, nothing. Day 3, nothing. All the way through the 8 days, you are good in terms of severe weather, and then in terms of excessive rainfall. All the way through day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you are all good there. And then finally, or thirdly, we have Philadelphia, low temperatures tonight at 30, high temperatures tomorrow at 44, then low temperatures tomorrow night at 34. No precipitation is expected as you go into like the next 3 days, or next couple of days. Honestly, you could say 3 days. You can say pretty much till like Sunday night at that point. You're not really going to see too much precipitation. But it will be breezy tomorrow. So you're going to have to watch for that. No precipitation. Again, it was really expected. No excessive rainfall, severe weather for Philadelphia at that time. Not really expected. And then finally, the final one being Duncan, Oklahoma. Low temperatures tonight at 38, high temperatures tomorrow at 73, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 42. No precipitation is expected at this time. In terms of severe weather and excessive rainfall, you're done there too. And that's all that I really have. So what's going on throughout the entire U.S. in terms of weather news? A frigid cold air mass will continue to bring colder weather across the eastern two-thirds of the country early this week. Record low temperatures are expected to be tied or broken across southeast and Florida, as Florida will even be down into the 20s. Periods of snow will continue downwind of the Great Lakes and in portions of the interior New England through Tuesday afternoon, with several inches of snowfall accumulation expected. Freezing temperatures still going to go. Also, red flag warnings over here. Goes on for a good amount of the South, even though they said there wasn't really going to be too much of a critical fire weather for San Antonio in terms of the actual forecast itself. They still have y'all under a red flag warning, so I don't know if there's a bit of a difference, or maybe there's just a bit of a disconnect. I don't know what's going on there. And then there also will be some lake effect snow going on, which I already talked about. And then for the most part, just some wind out there in the west, and then some winter storm watches up there in the high elevation of California. And that's pretty much all that I have to say here in terms of any sort of activity. Let me go on real quick and check out my Gmail, see if we had any emails. If you want to go on and send me an email, you can by sending it to scweather360@gmail.com. Again, that is scweather360@gmail.com. I don't see any other pictures here that anybody sent. And so now that is done, let me see. Anything else inside of the chat? Trail says, I put blankets on the bed. Absolutely, probably, most likely. A good thing also, I did see your text message earlier. I'm about to text you something real quick after this is done real quick. And speaking of Q&A, this is the last night to put in your Q&A question. If you have not sent in a Q&A question yet, this is your last day. Last night, to be honest. You have about a couple more hours. So I'm going to go in and start the Q&A right now and put, I'm going to put like, it's 9:26, so around 3.5 hours left. 3.5 hours left. If you want to go in and do so, I'm going to show you how to put the question in right now. If you go in and look right here, See at this top where it says live chat, top chats right here, it should say questions. Go on and click questions, and you should put your question in there. Remember, that was for the 600 subscriber special that I'm doing because we hit 600 subscribers. And speaking of subscribers, we're at 611, trying to get to 700. 89 away. Let's go on and get to that main goal of 700. Top fans for tonight, Miss Tolliver is at number 1, my Aunt Lou is at number 2, and then, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Thad was number 3. So congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans for the night tonight. If you want to be a top fan, you can. You just have to be here early, and you have to be consistent inside the chat. So more than just 1 or 2 chats. And that's all. So I will be back tomorrow morning with your Tuesday morning forecast update. Remember, pets, bring them inside. Plants, put them inside of a garage. Put them in like the corner of the house so the wind won't really affect it much. Or bring it up on the porch or do something with it so that it doesn't freeze. And then drip your pipes, open up the cabinets, get the heat from the house under to the pipes, and then, or some people just drain them, just in general. But make sure that doesn't happen, because that would not be a good situation for anybody. And so I don't think that there's anything else really for me to say. So I will be back tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Monday evening. And make sure, if you're new, hit those 2 buttons.